Hi, I'm Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, my guest is an actor and director, Elin Goyco. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me. This is really fun.
I know, I'm excited.
I mean, it's not fun yet, but we'll figure it out.
Hanging out with me isn't fun. Wow.
Well, we're still getting to know each other, right?
Okay, today the topic of conversation is, sorry, Alex is a good friend of mine, so we've been joking all morning, you guys, but this is going to be a treat. Today, the topic that we are discussing is going with the flow of life, because Lord knows, it seems like you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's been, it's flowing. It's ebbing, it's flowing, it's going.
Okay, so let's start by, I like to define the meaning behind things, because I feel like everybody has different definitions of what anything means in this world.
Yeah.
So what does going with the flow of life mean to you?
I read Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, I think it's called. And
how was that?
It's people are obsessed with The Power of Now, but his next book, he like contradicts the original one.
I kind of like that though, because I was not a huge fan of The Power of Now.
Me neither, because it's a hard read. It doesn't read very easy to understand. But I just love the concept that it's like playing a video game. Like the only thing that matters is the fact that I'm sitting here with you right now and we're doing this, as opposed to worrying about what happens tomorrow, or worried about what happened 7 years ago, which we all do. I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, damn, third grade, I shouldn't have said that thing in front of that English teacher, which was so beautiful.
What was that thing?
I don't know. I probably said something silly. I think I said, like, I set the wrong book or something. Everybody laughed. I remember being like, damn it.
Yeah.
I wasn't funny yet.
Yeah. Maybe funny looking. I'm kidding, you
there
guys.
You go.
He's gorgeous. But anyways, so true though. I feel like we love to fixate on the past, but it's so funny because we let it occupy so much of our mind and affect how we think and move throughout our life, but it doesn't exist. So we're letting like a figment of our imagination control our present moment. Like, isn't that insane?
It's heavy. It's like our consciousness is tied to something that already happened. It's like one of my favorite arguments that I've read recently is like, trauma and miracles are the same. I think might have touched on this at some point, but in the sense of like they're both sudden shifts in perspective. So like if you're, I'm paraphrasing something I saw, but it's basically like if you walk down the same street for 20 years and then one day you get mugged, your brain will look back at the last 20 years and you'll never be able to get past this shift in perspective. So like you're stuck in this trauma.
Yeah.
But there's a really cool argument against the opposite is like miracles are basically the same thing. If you're walking on the same street, but somebody hands you like a suitcase with $1 million, your shift in perspective is so fast that you'll never look at that street the same. And I feel like that's why we have to live like here now, because the only thing that matters is the fact that we're just, we wake up in the morning, we enjoy our food, we enjoy the conversations we have, we enjoy the people we know. It's a hard thing to do though. Like you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be a long day. Yesterday was crazy.
Because you project past experiences. And I do get that it definitely serves a purpose in some context. Yeah. Because like, the past serves a purpose and like we are meant to grow and we're meant to learn. Like I love how you're saying trauma or a miracle. It just programs faster because it's a dramatic emotional change. So your body's going to remember it, therefore to like protect yourself or to expect what's oncoming. And I think it's beautiful because in either sense, especially traumatic senses, I feel like that also gives you the opportunity for when you break that cycle to have just as much of an impact, because then you breaking a toxic cycle is kind of like a mini miracle.
It's one of the hardest things to do. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Like, for instance, you wake up in the morning and your computer, it's out of battery. And you know that you could buy the little stupid adapter that the USB-C goes in, and you have another port that you can charge your phone and your computer at the same time.
Yeah.
But we don't. We're so, because it would take 3 seconds to go on Amazon to get a $5
I did it.
thing.
Why didn't you do it? Because we were running into the same problem, it appears.
Suffering.
Why do you let yourself suffer?
I don't know. Send me one, because I think it's a status quo thing. Like, I know that that's going to be the problem that I'm going to have. So it like removes another problem in the day or something. It's weird. Our
do you
brains
use one
are
problem to replace another? Because God forbid you're actually just at peace in your mind.
There's actually a really cool thing they teach you, like in psychology or in therapy. Like it's called a defense lawyer, and it's basically like it's something like in the morning when you make a cup of coffee, instead of putting 2 sugars like you normally do, put 1 sugar. And your brain will be like, oh, this is bitter. This is a problem. Yeah. And you'll actually fill your little quota of problems earlier in the day. So then later on, you're kind of like already tired of the problems. And you kind of let go of some of the anxiety that we always have. It's a really cool trick to like...
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like...
See, I've read the opposite, though, where it's like when you wake up and if, like, for instance, the first thing you do is you pick up your phone and you scroll and you're programmed then with all this negativity that is surrounding the world, right. You're going to have that undertone throughout your day. So like, it's kind of the opposite concept.
Yeah, it's you basically create little problems so that you start getting used to the fact that it doesn't matter. Like that
little problems don't matter.
That little problems don't matter, so they don't trip you up. Like if somebody yells at you when you're driving, like like this morning, I got cut off by someone, and they it was like 9 a.m, and they're yelling at me at 9 a.m, and I was so tired that I remember lowering my window, and I just like, it's too early.
Yeah.
I said, my friend, it is too early. And an accent came out. It was so funny. And he looked at me like,
I think
you're right. He just like laughed. Like he went from being super angry at 9 a.m. to just realizing
like, damn, dude, that was something I did not need to freak out about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy was too old and too like yelling way too loud.
That's so interesting.
At 9 a.m.
So you're pretty much talking about training yourself then to just get used to the little inconveniences. So therefore, it's not a reaction in you anymore in a way.
Exactly, because a lot of it is us trying to control something is
For
what
sure.
it feels like. So like if we can control letting go a little bit, then people ask me like, how do you... I have lived many years under a lot of stress, like family stuff or what's my next job or, oh my God, how am I supposed to figure this out? And one of the things that has helped is this. It's this little like, I drive like a grandpa. I drive so slowly and I let people get in front of me and nothing. Right. But I do it because I know that if I let those things go, by the time I get to where I'm going, I'm a nice, normal person who's docile. Or if not, I would have all this pent up anger, which I probably have in my past. You know, when I was a kid, I was just like, I don't understand why this is happening, why we have to move around so much. So it's nice to be able to like just let things go. You know?
See, but that's what I love about like perspective, because that's your perspective now. And do you ever think that from growing up in such a non-stable way where there was a bunch of like micro traumatic events, micro unsatisfactory experiences, that's why now you're more willing to accept them, because you're like, okay, this is a part of life. My parents didn't try to shelter me all the time. Yeah. Therefore, it's like, I know I just have to roll with the punches because it's what I've been doing.
It's true. I think that's a huge part of it, but I don't think that's the solution itself. I think, like you said earlier, you have to go through the process of trying to figure that out. So if you lived like, I mean, for whoever's watching, I went to 12 different schools. I lived in like 10 different cities.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I lived in hotels till I was 12. I never knew anybody because we were there for like a month or two and then just dipped. And it was hard because of what we're talking about. It's like you don't get to create foundations and roots. In fact, I mean... Well,
you were forced as a kid to go with the flow. It's not like your parents gave you a lot of autonomy and like, what do you want to do, sweetie? Like, do you want to move? Do you want to stay? You were just like, hey, I'm here.
But to fix it, it wasn't just like, oh, now I'm interested because I've been to a bunch of different places. Yeah. It was like, oh my God, I have to do something because I'm filled with pent up not anger, but it was like pent up anxiety and not feeling like I'm enough because everybody has more, more friends, more a house. It was like I don't understand how this is possible. Like I started, I I dated a girl from a small town that lived in a family, and I moved in with her for like a year because I was like, I want to live what it's like to have like.
You're like, I just want like a home for a minute.
Home.
Yeah.
And she had a golden retriever, and the golden retriever's name was Maggie, and it was I lived like a married man for 6 years of my life, and it was mwah. Until I was like, okay, no, I have to, I am ingrained to be a nomad. I am ingrained to like go to a new city and try new things.
Do you ever think, there's probably a reason why you're not with this girlfriend anymore. It's because it just wasn't meant to be. Do you think,
Well, yeah, I'm a romantic though. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I talk about this with I have a twin sister, and we share a lot of this sort of like nomadness.
Yeah.
And I tell her that my regret, it's not a regret, but what I would have wished was that we went through so much, this girl and I.
Your ex?
Yeah. Like she was very special, but when we had to break up for exactly what you're saying, we lived in New York, and I knew that the city was expanding at the rate that I was expanding, and she was a small town girl, and we just couldn't figure it out. Right after we broke up, life was like, here's everything you've ever wanted.
But that's how it always works out.
But I wish I could have shared it with her. Is like
for
the
sure.
weird part. It was like, oh man, like she only knew me, and we only knew each other when we were trying to figure. We were so young, but it happens. I love that could happen, but it's also that's such a big part of life.
I think it's also too, because when you once again like just give into life and the urges that you feel like are meant for you, that's when like we said, all the blessings come, and then you kind of feel like you found a cheat code in a way. You're like, holy shit, look at all this cool stuff that's happening to me, and you just can't help but want to bring all those people that like were in your old life or your old experiences with you, because definitely your past has influenced who you are now, and to me at least, like moving from my hometown in Chicago, coming out to LA, like traveling the country, nursing, like meeting new people. My best friend's still in our hometown. And I can't tell you how many times I'm like, girl, life is insanely beautiful. Like come to this side, but it's not their journey to walk necessarily. And I feel like they have to make those choices on their own.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do want to preface by saying like, I think there is no right answer. So like, I know people who stayed in the same town their whole lives. In fact, I grew up in the time I did grow up somewhere. Yeah. I was in a little island off of Miami. And it was the coolest place on earth. They had one of everything. It has like one church, one school, one supermarket, it's the most adorable place on earth. And it was beautiful. And I know people that never left. And they're fine.
That's what I mean. As long as you're happy and you know what you want, because nobody's journey is supposed to be exactly the same. Some people do come into your life for a season, and then you have to know when to walk away, which is what you kind of did. And I feel like the only reason I even bring that up is because like I do know those people though who you can tell that they're not happy.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, listen to yourself. You know what you need to do and move.
That's that little voice.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg said it. He said, the little voice talking to you will never yell. It just whispers.
It's a whisper. When I made big life decisions, when I heard that whisper.
Spilled all over. We're fine. We're good.
There's been a few times now. It's like when you harness listening to the whisper, things start to fall into place so much faster. I'll never forget the first time though I listened to it. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Like things did change really fast.
I could look back at my life and pick the exact moments where something like a little whisper happened. Like my brother 12 years ago, I was like the skinniest, scrawniest, 140
You guys,
pound.
this man is jacked.
Thank you. 145 pound kid up until I was 22, 23.
Okay.
And my brother gave me a little piece of paper, and it said 4 sets of pull-ups, 4 sets of push-ups, 4 sets of whatever. It was like 4 little things. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't even do a pull-up, but we're going to try it. And that little piece of paper changed my life because I had my whole life changed because somebody handed me a note that I still have that just says like 4x 8 times of a machine, 4x, and then my whole life just expanded, and it has always been like that. Like one day somebody calls me and they're like, "Hey, I want you to call this person because they might have a gig in LA," and then you just end up here somehow, or, you're walking down the street and you see a motorcycle and you fall in love with motorcycles, and then they become a part of your life for half a decade,
Yeah.
And then the opposite is true too. One day something bad happens and you stop riding like I did. But up until that moment, you enjoy every single thing that happens to you. So
yeah, but let me ask you this then. How do you necessarily harness the knowledge to know when it's something you need to listen to, or it's like some people might be like, oh, this is a piece of paper, crumple it up and throw it in the corner. But to you, that was an influential moment.
That's the hard part. It's I think it's that gut feeling that everybody talks about. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at following your gut because I don't know where it's come from. I don't know what the hell I'm feeding my gut. But that's the beauty
of the gut instinct, though, is like it doesn't come from anywhere. It's just, it's there.
Sometimes and it happens with people too. It happens with people you meet that you're like, ooh, something's weird. Or the opposite. Sure. Or, like my favorite relationships I've ever had have been with the girls that it's like a first date that just doesn't end. And then 5 years go by. Yeah. And that's been like, right away. Oh, it's you look at someone.
Dude, like, even in my life now, it's such a blessing and a curse because people are like, Christina, give people a chance, at least when it comes romantically or even like deep friendships. Everyone's like, give them a chance. I'm like, but I think I know. Like, and if I don't know, then I don't. People like, then it's not it.
I don't believe in the slow burn thing. I mean, sure, there have been many cases where you meet somebody, you're like, and then slowly, eventually, I guess I am not built like that. I'm built like that shiny thing is going to be in my life for as long as it's meant to. And I've been very grateful for that.
But you've never had anything where it's like, you've never had the slow burn because everyone's like, you never know.
I have not. I'm not opposed to it. I just know that I know that I've lived the opposite, where it's like I knew that something was wrong, and I didn't want to listen to that until life was like,
life will slap you in the face.
Right? Yeah. And I have this awesome, like, he's like a medium. Or like a guy who's just,
very in tune.
He's very in tune. Yeah. And I talked to him, and I remember when I was dating that girl, he was like, this isn't good. And I was like, fine. So much so that he switched it. He was like, do it and then see what happens. And I was like, of course, see, I told you the card said do it.
See, but at the same time, so obviously right now I'm single. Like none of my past relationships have worked out the way that they're supposed to, or I wouldn't be. But I do believe it's like the second I met somebody, I'm like, I know you're going to be in my life in a big way. Yeah. I don't know how. And don't get me wrong. It was not like the best relationships, but I've learned so much from them and I'm grateful for them. Yeah. So I feel like even if this wasn't like a long-term thing, I definitely think I was meant to meet this person to teach me the lesson that I needed to learn to be where I'm at right now.
That's the hard part. It's like the whole idea that somebody can only be there to teach you a lesson is the whole point, but it's so scary.
But that's part of going along with the flow of life, though. We're in Earth school, is what I say all the time.
Of course. And that's, it just, I think that feeds into my anxiety sometimes because because of the way I grew up, there is this innate waiting for the other shoe to drop thing, where if I do meet somebody that I know is going to be a lesson, or if I do get a job that I feel like there's this thing waiting on the other side that's going to be chaotic. But I'm slowly learning that you can have a nice life and that we cause our problems.
For sure.
So that's the lesson now.
That's the lesson. But that's the thing is you're learning lessons. Yeah. And I'm even like a huge believer, also like guilty of, since I grew up in a chaotic household, like when things were going good, you kind of also create your own misery in the sense where you're like, things are going too good right now.
That's it. And you start sabotaging, which is why going back to the one sugar in your coffee thing, because we start sabotaging things, I have found that when I can control the little moments where I know, like, if I get an audition, I mean, I hope my managers aren't watching, but if I get an audition, sometimes I just self-sabotage it.
Really?
Because I get so freaked out about the fact that it could happen, and I go, okay, oh no, I'm so tired. I only have a day to figure this out. I only have a day to memorize this stuff or whatever. And it's all because you're so scared of, it's like the movie. Have you ever seen Edge of Tomorrow?
No.
It's Tom Cruise in this. It's one of the greatest movies ever. Emily Blunt, so beautiful. And it's a movie where he keeps living the same, kind of like Groundhog Day, but he's in a war zone. He lives the same day over and over. And then there's a point in the movie, it's not a spoiler. He gets to the point where he's finally at a spot where he doesn't always die. And she goes, where do we go next? And he looks at her and he's like, this is the farthest I've ever gone. This is all new to me. I'm scared now. And he starts getting like tense. I feel the exact same thing.
See, do you think it's like you self-sabotaging though, or are these roles you really want actually?
They are roles I really want, or it could happen with anything. It could happen with like a girl that I'm seeing, or or whatever. It's like our brains are so used to just keeping us safe.
Yeah, for sure.
That it is that's the battle. Because whatever, that's why I have trouble with the gut feeling thing. Because sometimes I can't tell the difference between a gut feeling and that insecurity thing.
Yeah.
Of like, oh my God, like.
And just the uncomfortableness of the unfamiliar.
Yes.
Yeah.
That uncomfortable. Oh, that's a great. I can't say that 3 times. But you try that.
The familiar. Is that what I say? Yeah.
Uncomfortableness of the
unfamiliar.
I learned English at 12. Like, let's chill out.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that's why I think it's so cool because you can pick what you want to do. Like neuroplasticity is a thing, and you can train yourself. And it seems like you've kind of we're human. I'm not saying anybody is perfect. Even me, who I'm like, I love the surprises that life throws at me. But no, even with me though, I'm like, as much as I think that I like have done so much work, I surprise myself every day where I'm like, what the heck, dude? Yeah. But it seems like it's worked out for you so far for a lot of things. It's true.
There are many mistakes, many things. I'm lucky that I've been taking care of. I don't know if it's ADHD or something, but I've been taking care of my 4-year-old self. Still am. Yeah. And I always will be. And in focusing on just how do I get this baby Alex somewhere. Mm-hmm. Some things have worked. But there are so many things that there's so many things like, there's so many like
that you're still learning, that you're still like
it's hard for me to, it's hard for me to accept jobs sometimes, or ask for money, or value myself in my professional sense. But the times that I do are so awesome.
Yeah. But like looking back though too, like we said, we're human, we're not perfect. It seems like every single time you just decide to like let go a little bit and do what you know is best for you is when things kind of do work out. Yeah. And this is where I kind of want to get back to the like going with the flow of life type of thing, is because there's 2 things you've told me before where I'm just like, how did that happen? Tell me about how you got your Emmy.
Oh, well,
this is where I'm like, I feel like you just gave up and the universe is like, okay, good for you for giving up for a second. You knew you were meant to here.
I moved to New York in like 2014. I moved to this new city. I got this little video gig to go video like Broadway things. They called me and they're like, hey, there's this guy. He's on Broadway. His name is Neil Patrick Harris. I was like, from that show. Cool. I need you to just go and interview him. Just put a camera in front of him and they're going to ask some questions and you're done. And I did it. And
what was your thought before doing it? Let me ask you that. I'm curious.
Well, I was scared because it was like finally an opportunity to do something. Like I was in film and I was just straight out of college and I was like, oh boy. And I got there and I shot the thing and the whole thing was out of focus when I got home. So I freaked out and I was just like, oh my God. So I went on the editing software. I jacked up the sharpness and I just sent it. And they were like, okay, thank you. And it was weird because it was like I tried to self-sabotage it or by not paying attention or I was nervous or whatever. but it still kind of worked, which means it was, and then it happened again with something else. Like they asked me to shoot something and I didn't know how to do it, but I did.
You were just being presented with all these opportunities.
And like, I wasn't saying no. I wasn't saying no to things. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go shoot that thing.
Well, self-sabotaging would have said, no, I'm not doing it because I'm letting fear get in my way.
It was calling me. And I tried to say no. That has happened a couple of times where people call me for a thing and they're like, no. In fact, I have a client right now that I'm editing videos for. And the first time he called me, it was like 6 months ago. And he was like, hey, I need you to like come shoot this thing. It's like a big concert. Just put cameras everywhere. And I'm like, I don't want to. And he begged and please show up. And he's become one of my favorite clients.
Yeah.
You know, but I almost said no. But anyway, so I worked on Broadway for a long time, like making documentaries and series, and I kind of created a show with Paul Wontorek called The Broadway Show. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a 60 minutes e-entertainment thing. And yeah, I did it for years. I was so overworked. All I did was work. And I finally just like quit my job. Like I was like, hey, Paul, I want to try something else.
You were just exhausted.
I was exhausted. I mean, I did it for so long. In New York, you never really know.
It's always like you're working. Yeah. We talked about this on the way here. You're working. And you're like, I know this is worth it, but like universe, God, whatever you believe in, like, what the fuck? Like, can you just show the fruits of my labor already? Because I'm losing faith, I'm losing hope, and I'm tired. I'm burned.
And I feel like New York for a lot of people is like that. Like one of my best friends, his name is Tony. He's awesome. He just wanted Tony. Tony just wanted Tony. And he works so much, and he's so connected that I don't think he takes trips just to realize all the stuff that he's actually accomplished. Because like, and he has to like disappear. It's really funny. Anyway, that's kind of how it happened. I walked out. I said, guys, thank you. I'm gonna move to LA, which is another wild story. And then right after I was finally like, okay, I'm moving on from New York, and they shipped a giant box with my name on it and an Emmy in it. Like it had it was random. It was just
what was going through your head, considering you're like, I'm done here right now. I just decided to like call it quits and start another chapter of my life, and now it's like here's a reward for that chapter at the very end.
I mean, it felt like a completion of sorts.
Oh, nice.
But it also felt scary because I felt like I walked away from something that was finally paying off, if you will. So that was harder.
Okay, that's what my next question was going to be then. Oh, here's an Emmy. Maybe I'm good at this. Maybe I should keep going. How did you let that quiet that voice and say, I know there's another chapter in my life. I need to keep going.
That's the hardest part, because when you're like, I want this thing. It's over there, and I'm just gonna keep going.
It's shiny. It's pretty, but it's not serving me anymore.
And life won't give you that thing until you don't want it anymore.
Ooh.
And that is
I'm a big
difficult.
person on like learn from the past, predict the future, like love what you're doing, but do not have attachment to it.
I know, but it's so easy to say that, and then you live it, and you're like, it happens with people, it happens with your friends, it happens with yourself. You could wake up one day and look in the mirror and be like, oh, I want to fix that, I want to fix this, and then look back at, the iPhone that has a year ago, look at the photo you took, like, and you look at that and you're like, man, that's what I looked like, and I'm struggling with like this other thing now. Like,
but this too shall pass. That's the one thing that I've always held on to, is because the only thing that's actually consistent is that nothing's consistent.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks said it too. He was like, it's the opposite is true too.
So let me kind of to wrap up everything then. What after receiving this Emmy, what made you still say, I am getting on my motorcycle and leaving New York and going to LA? Because you had every reason to stay at that point then.
A quiet voice. The same thing. It was the middle of COVID, or the end of COVID, sort of. I walked into a motorcycle shop and I fell in love with it. Oh no, it's the middle of COVID. I bought a motorcycle, threw everything away, put everything in storage, or got rid of it, and just left on what I thought was going to be like a couple days of doing a little road trip. And I got to LA, and I remember being like first I went to Florida on the motorcycle, and then I made it here eventually. And when I got here, I was like, why don't I just stay? there has to be something I can do here. Like, you know.
Did you have a feeling when you got here? Out of curiosity, like, how did you feel when you got to LA?
It felt like I was supposed to be here.
Because when I first landed here, I was only supposed to be here for a month. I had a rental Turo car and I was driving around. I think it was probably like the Marina Del Rey area.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I was like, I don't think that I'm going to leave after a month.
No.
Like, no plans. I literally had my Airbnb. Yeah.
I didn't say goodbye to anyone. It was the middle of COVID, and I remember being like, hey, I'm going to go on a little road trip. The story is weird because it's like the reason why I did the road trip in the first place is because I had just bought this brand new motorcycle. I was at my former boss, Paul Wontorik's house, and a tree just almost destroyed the thing in a storm. I had just bought it. I had it for like 2 weeks. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why does that happen? But because that happened, I didn't have the motorcycle for 2 months while they were repairing a brand new motorcycle, and it cost them the insurance. It was silly.
Insane.
But when I got it back, I was so itching for something to do. That's the exact reason why I'm here. That's the exact reason why I even left. Because a tree fell on a brand new thing that I thought was a bad thing, and it ended up opening a brand new door.
Know.
You just don't know.
You don't. And that I find comforting. I was sitting in my living room the other day and I'm like, I don't know why I have this inkling right now. I'm like, how lucky am I to be surprised by life every single day?
That's it.
How exciting is that?
The day I got here, I rode my motorcycle with all my, like, it was like a 200 liter or 100 liter suitcase just
like
behind
backpack,
me the whole time. I did Asheville, whatever. I ended up here. And I rode by this place, and I met someone either online or somewhere, and they were like, "Hey, come check out this place. You can Airbnb it for 7 days or something." I got there, and the lady who was there, she was like, "Hey, if you pay me cash, you can stay here longer." So I was like, "Oh my God, can I rent this place month to month? This is amazing."
Yeah.
So I did that. The second night I was there, the roof collapses and there's a giant water pipe that floods the entire apartment. And I go, why? Why did this happen? Like, why is it that I finally figured this out and this crazy thing happens? Luckily, because I was there, I was able to stop it in time. The landlord of the building that I was subleasing, that I wasn't supposed to sublease anything, she was so thankful that I saved the other units that she was like, just stay here as long as you want.
Oh, wow.
Because that happened, I met all my neighbors, and to this day, that whole building is like a dorm room. Is like a dorm building where you know everybody, you hang out with everybody, and they've become like some of my closest friends. Back
to the negative stuff, though. See, you always think the negative stuff is negative. It has no purpose. When I'm such a believer, we're like, that's funny you say that, because when I first moved to LA, I was supposed to live in downtown LA.
Oh my God.
I didn't know anything about downtown LA. I was moving. I'm like, big city, right? Live downtown. No. I'm not meant to be downtown LA, you guys know.
Truly awful.
But the person who I landed up renting from turned out to be a total creep. And the apartment was trash, and it was a horrible experience. I actually had to land up making a police report against this man. But if I actually stayed in downtown LA for the month like I was supposed to and was committed, I probably would not have stayed in LA.
No.
Yeah, but that's what
a beautiful...
I ended up in West Hollywood with gorgeous Runyon Canyon and amazing people that are like-minded and similar to me, versus downtown. It's just not my vibe. So I'm like, we always think that these negative things are so negative and we label them and we demonize them, but you never really know.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes they do last a while. Sometimes they last years.
Oh, for sure.
That too shall pass, and there is something better.
Yeah.
There's something better that comes from it.
Oh, I was going to ask you an ending question like I always do, but I kind of just want to end on that. That was beautiful. You guys, if you're listening to the audio, watch the tape, and he was just so peaceful saying it.
Oh, right. Just gentle.
On that note, then, thank you for those last words. I feel like that is really good advice.
Yeah.
And yeah, just thank you for having this conversation with me. I really appreciate you.
It was really fun, and it's nice to delve into this stuff that we think about 1,000 times a day, but we don't get to actually communicate. So as jarring or as it may sound, it's nice to be able to say it.
Let it out.
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what we let out, but we let out something.
I just think it's a full expression of your life experience and who you are. And when you get to share that with the world, honestly, the biggest gift I feel like you can give somebody is being you. And secondly, it's like, who knows what somebody's going to get out of this? You might just have inspired somebody to like let go of something that wasn't serving them, or get on a motorcycle and move to LA.
Yeah, or try something, or leave it.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I love you. Boom.
Cute.
Okay, cute.